child here at New Hope is that we need to surround them with what we call at Upbring the 5 markers of success. So that's safety. Safety's first. Life skills. Health. And health would be emotional health, trauma-informed care, spiritual health, as well as physical health. Education. You'll see our charter school later. And then vocation, so that every child has that opportunity to live out his or her calling. So we appreciate both you and Secretary Azar to be here today. We're honored to show you our shelter. It's a shelter that currently cares for 58 children, children who come from very difficult journeys, and we treat them like our own children. So with that, I'm going to allow the Secretary, of course, to say a few words and to introduce our special guest.
Well, Dr. Sensky and Roy de la Cerda as Program Director here, and to all of you, thank you so much for welcoming us here. I just wanted you to know how very grateful we are at the Department of Health and Human Services for the work that Upbring does for these children, and we're delighted to hear more about it and hear more about your sense of passion and mission and what you do. We're privileged to be with you, and I'm just delighted that the First Lady is spending today with us, and going to get to meet your children and meet you and hear from you. So thank you very much, and Mrs. Scott, turn it over to you.
Thank you so much for having me here today. I'm glad I'm here, and I'm looking forward to seeing and meeting children. But first of all, let me begin to recognize each of you and thanking you for all what you do. For your heroic work that you do every day, and what you do for those children. We all know they're here without their families, and I want to thank you for your hard work, your compassion, and your kindness you're giving them in these difficult times. I'm here to learn about your facility, and which I know you house children on a long-term basis. And I also like to ask you how I can help to these children to reunite with their families as quickly as possible. So thank you again for all what you do, and thank you as well. Thank you all for what you do. Thank you very much. And please, if you could say a few words.
Absolutely. Again, thank you, Dr. Sensky, Secretary Azar, First Lady, thank you for being here. What we'll do now is that everyone around the table here can introduce themselves and give a brief role of what it is that you all do within your agencies. Let me start with my left here.
Yeah, sure. Hi, Brian Harrison. I'm the Deputy
So we're seeing
Secretary Azar at the Department
First Lady Melania Trump now at a nonprofit center that cares for children who have come across the country illegally. The First Lady, along with Alex Azar, the Secretary of Health and Human Services, they will also be touring or speaking to folks at a processing center we've been hearing a lot of. It's the place where these family separations are usually begun. The First Lady thought to be instrumental in the president's decision to sign an executive order yesterday ending the practice of family separation. Let's go right now to NBC's Peter Alexander as we continue to monitor this. Peter, let's talk about the practicality right now of how the president's order is unfolding and how it's affecting people right now.
Well, it's a good question, and there's been a lot of uncertainty. There's certainly been a lack of clarity about exactly how those young undocumented immigrants who were separated from their families are going to be reunited. A spokesperson for the First Lady says that's among the reasons why she wanted to make this trip. This was her decision. The White House says that she made the decision effectively on Tuesday, that her husband was supportive of that decision, but that he is not the one who sent her down to the border on this day. She, through her aides, describes this as an effort to see what is real, to have a realistic view of the situation taking place now in terms of those separated families at the border. We can give you some more details about this specific location. It's said to be a former nursing home, one that is now housing roughly 60 young undocumented immigrants between the ages of 5 and 17, said to be from locations, countries like Honduras and El Salvador, which is much like the pattern we have seen so far. Many of those who have been fleeing violence in their home countries coming from countries like Honduras and El Salvador. The White House saying that about a half dozen of them are individuals who were separated from their families. There's obviously been a lot of criticism of this administration. Even the former First Lady, Laura Bush, suggesting this policy was cruel. We are told that the First Lady, Melania Trump, has not had conversations with past First Ladies. Lester?
All right, and again, we continue to watch the First Lady now meeting some of the staff at this nonprofit facility, understanding a little bit about what they do and what the needs are. Now, the children being cared for there, not clear if they are among the unaccompanied minors who crossed the border or if they were among those that were separated from their families after a crossing. NBC's actually, let's listen for a moment to the First Lady.
Mental stage they come here. Do they distract? So what you would say the percentage how they come here?
Well, clinician.
Okay, so usually the great majority are Guatemalan. It's a higher percentage rate. Usually when they get here, they're very distraught in the sense that they don't know where they're at. They're thinking they're going to continue in the process of just the processing them. And when they see the environment and they see the other kids and they see the art, they start relaxing. So the first 24 hours are crucial for us. You know, making sure that we got them the basic needs, showers, clothing, food, and before we even start the assessment. And within those 24 hours, our unit shelter managers in charge of, doing a brief update as to what's going on with them. That way we can address it immediately. And then eventually every department takes a turn to be able to further assess the needs of the kiddos. So it's a process. It's a process.
Yes. But I've heard they're very happy and they love to study. They love
Absolutely.
to go to school.
Absolutely. Again, when the children first get here, it is a process. They go through an orientation. They go through a 24-hour initial intake. So this is where we get as much information as we possibly can from the children, again, to assess and make sure that we're not missing anything. If there's an immediate medical need, that is immediately addressed. If there's an immediate mental health issue or that needs to be addressed, we bring in our clinicians, and then we take it from there. After they do an orientation, they go through several orientations. They'll go through the shelter, they will go through case management orientation, and they'll also go through clinical orientation, so they will get a understanding of their current placement. And again, this is to inform them and keep them as calm as possible, and to reassure them that they are in a safe place, that they will be well taken care of here, that they don't have anything to worry about. Now they're in a safe environment, free from abuse. And then every day is something new with the children. We provide a lot of structure here. During the Monday through Friday schedule, they do attend class.
Mrs. Trump, talking to staff there at this facility, trying to understand what they do with the immediate needs of the children who are in their care require. I want to turn to NBC's Gabe Gutierrez. He's in South Texas where this crisis has been playing out. Gabe, the First Lady is going to be visiting this processing center we have been talking a lot about where these separations have occurred. Do we know what has changed now, given the president's order at that facility?
Well, hi, Lester. There appears to be a change, at least this morning, and as the First Lady arrives here in South Texas, as the rain pours down here in McAllen, Texas, this morning, according to an immigration attorney here at the federal courthouse, the charges of illegal entry against 17 defendants who were set to go before a judge here this morning were dismissed. And that surprised the immigration attorney we spoke with and suggested that there may be a change, and federal authorities are figuring out on the practical ramifications of the president's executive order. What did all of those 17 defendants have in common, according to this immigration attorney? They all had children, and they all had been separated from their children earlier this week. Now, overnight, we got conflicting statements from the Department of Health and Human Services, at first saying that there were no plans to reunite the more than 2,000 children that have been separated from their parents, to reunite them with their parents. A short time later, another HHS official says that they are awaiting further guidance on this matter and that the reunification process is the ultimate goal. So certainly a lot of uncertainty about what this means for the more than 2,000 children that have been separated. And right now, at the Federal Immigration Court behind me, the ramifications of the president's executive order appear to be playing out in real time, Lester.
Yeah, as the president signed that order yesterday, and again last night, he reiterated the point that zero tolerance will still be the policy of his administration, but as you noted, there have been some cases dismissed, so a lot of confusion there. The First Lady will learn perhaps more about some of that confusion. Right now, the conversation seems to be specifically on the children that are in the care of this facility and what their needs are and what they are able to provide. So everyone trying to come to grips with what this order that the president issued, really how it affects things on the ground there. But certainly this part of South Texas has seen a growing number of people crossing the border illegally. I was there a few days ago, spoke to the local Border Patrol chief who's actually sitting at that table. I asked him if this is at a crisis stage. He demurred on that, but said it will get to a crisis stage at some point. But nonetheless, this administration has put a large focus on what's happening at this border right now, and is after the president's about-face, now is faced with some of the more practical ramifications of that, which we're seeing playing out. Again, this is a live picture. First Lady Melania Trump making a surprise visit to the border. Let's hear more of her questions.
Without parents.
The majority of our children,
yes.
yes, ma'am, they are unaccompanied and were detained by DHS and Border Patrol for the majority, and that's a big part of who we are and who we work with. Yes, ma'am.
Because they're between 12 and 17 years old, right? So it's kind of, they kind of understand, they know
Yes, ma'am.
where they are. So
Yes, ma'am.
they're not like young children.
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Do you have the capability to take care of younger children here, younger than 12?
Our license, our state license, does allow us to take children up until as young as 6, but for the current census right now, ORR has asked us to stay within the 12 to 17 range.
And Mr. Secretary, oftentimes we'll place younger children in our foster homes.
Could you explain that process, how you do that?
Sure. So at the time of detention or apprehension, we work very closely with our partners over at Homeland Security, and they identify, young children from, let's say, 0 to 5 years old. And we have a series of a network of foster homes throughout the United States that are licensed in that particular state to work with children from 0 to 5 years old. And it's a family setting that these kids work in. And again, the same standard applies. We assess them for any medical need or any serious complication where we may have to use doctors, hospitals in that situation, because we get every type of child in our custody. Somebody who's non-mobile, non-verbal, to somebody whose mom may have perished in the Rio Grande or something like that here in South Texas. So those kind of kids are taken care of, very special circumstances, and they're throughout the United States also.
And we, as Upbring, have foster care programs in Corpus Christi as well as El Paso, and as of today are currently serving around 100 children in those programs.
Great. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to meeting children and tour the facility. So thank you very much again for all what you do. Thank you.
What we'll do now is go off and
Mrs. Trump meeting with staff there and indicating she's anxious to tour that facility. She will be going to this processing center we've heard much about that's operated by the Border Patrol. That was where the family separations were actually beginning. This is a nonprofit she is at right now, caring for some of the younger kids who have come across the border illegally. and talking to the staff there about the needs and what they're capable of doing in the ages they surface. We will continue to monitor the First Lady's movements as she makes this visit to South Texas, and we'll have updates as they warrant. And of course, full coverage when we see you a bit later tonight on NBC Nightly News. For now, I'm Lester Holt. Good day.